Well, good self care Saturday morning, you guys. I'm so glad you got up today with you on your mind. Welcome to Saturday Morning Spotlight, your go to source for inspiration, positivity, and self care. I'm your host, Val Irving, your dedicated self care coach and motivator. And today I have a very special guest with me, you guys, the amazingly beautiful Daniela Bufon. Yeah, you heard how that rolls off the tongue. Daniela Bufon. You guys. Full transparency here. Daniela is my boss at my 9 to 5, but she's also a dear friend. Daniela, welcome to the spotlight.
Thank you, Val. And you can just call me Danny, okay?
Okay.
So, the spotlight is not my comfort zone, but I'm here today to break my fear of public speaking and share my insights on self care. And I'm honored to have been invited for this momentum, Val.
Absolutely. Thank you for that again, Daniela or Danny. Listen, you and your family made a major move from Brazil to the US, about a year ago now. So absolutely everything has changed. I'm curious, how you guys find the time in different ways to manage self-care in the midst of what I'm going to call excitement, but it's such a major adjustment, right? Moving to a new country is huge. But how do you navigate this new beginning and find a sense of stability amid the excitement, or have you? Hey y'all, hey, I wanted to personally stop by and invite you guys to mark your calendar for a life-changing event. The Serenity Seeker Retreat here in Atlanta in February. Listen, I want you to do this for me. Close your eyes for a minute and see mornings beginning with the guided meditation, setting the pace and the tone for your day. Then afternoons filled with transformative workshops helping to empower your self-care journey. Then that last thing, in the evening, it's going to offer opportunity to connect, rejuvenate, and be part of something truly revitalizing. So don't let this chance for tranquility and self-discovery slip away, ladies. Secure your spot today for Serenity Seekers Retreat here in Atlanta. You already know it. Space is limited and the time is winding down. So join us on this path of serenity, self-care, and self-discovery because the journey begins January 23rd. I'm going to see you at the Serenity Seekers Retreat.
Yes, Val. The first months were quite complex, and I could practically only think about my family and the impact of this change in our lives. So, new country, new culture, new language, new home, new everything. Despite not being alone on this journey, and after all, my husband is my partner in crime, so I felt the need for something deeper, and I went back to the therapy. And I can tell you that this was the greatest self care I could give myself, taking care of my mind.
Oh, wow, Daniela. I love that you decided to go back to therapy or go to therapy. I think so often we forget that that's an option for us. And so I'm glad that you just decided that therapy was something that you needed and you went and you did it. So you mentioned a little while ago, or you mentioned your husband, right? Being your partner in crime. So with your husband and your son in tow, here you are on a brand new family adventure, right? You mentioned the things, brand new country, brand new job, brand new language, all the things. But tell me this, how do you incorporate self-care into the whole family structure and into the family routine? Are there any fun stories or activities that, have become the family tradition?
So, Val, this whole change is much more than an adventure. It's a life choice. So, the first major challenge in the family was food, which is very different here. So, what I did to make our routine more welcoming was to cook for my loved boys. So, we have Brazilian food almost every day at home. And we have taken the opportunity to visit all Brazilian steakhouses in the region. So that has become our weekend traditions now.
Oh, I love it. Like you said, your cultural blends, right? You're trying to blend in not only what's going on here in the US, but you're like, we're not going to forget about home. We are going to blend in these cultures, even in this because that's part of even discovering more self-care, right? Self-discovery as you even like blend the cultures and even the food. I absolutely am like, oh my God, I'm glad we're having this conversation. I hope the listeners are like, yeah, okay. Somebody has got to be able to identify. And I'm so glad that you're sharing it. I would imagine that, right, being with this in this new culture, it can be both exciting and thrilling and all that, but it can also be challenging, right? So explain to me, or explain to the listeners, if you will, how has this culture blend influenced your approach to self discovery? And have you found any surprises as it comes to that in your progress and in your process?
Not properly a surprise, but what I discover is that I'm stronger and more resilient than I imagined. Because the most challenges are experienced within ourselves. So our fears, our desires, frustrations, and also our personal victories as well. So I was able to keep the flow even when surprised by unexpected events and be supportive as a mother, as a wife, as a professional, as a chef, and most important, as a human being.
You, oh wow, I love it. I'm stronger than I thought I was. I'm stronger than I knew I was. So often we forget that we are resilient. We have bounced back. We have been through things. We have survived so much. And so even finding yourself here in this new country, like you said, I'm stronger than I thought I was. And I've been able to tap into that strength. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you for sharing that with us. Um, I'm going to move on to another topic real quick, and I'm going to talk about uh, personal time, right? Um, Personal
So
time and balancing that work life balance, family time, personal time. It can probably feel like you're juggling fire sometimes. It's just so many things going on, so much happening. And like I told the listeners earlier, we work together. And right now, there is a lot going on in the work front, right? We've got a lot of things going on. So with work and home and family and having a small child and having a husband, how do you carve out what I'm going to call precious moments for yourself, with such a packed schedule?
Val, I'm prioritizing time with my family as if I'm prioritizing a big work event.
Okay.
It's the simplicity of every moment that count. So, like watching my son the swimming class or accompanying my husband to the parents meeting at school, and that brings me the feeling of completeness. So, to answer directly, I make time in my schedule to be with them as much as possible.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love the fact that, sometimes people choose work over their family. It really sounds to me as if you said, you know what, I know work is going to be there, but I've got to make sure that my family knows that I'm there for them, and you have prioritized them. And that is something to commend. So many people get caught up in work life, but they forget about the home life and that balance. So kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
As we move on a little bit here, as you reflect and think about this, I mean, whirlwind of a year. It's got to be mind blowing to, like you said, you mentioned it, coming from another country to a new country. You've got a young child who's acclimating to school here rather than there. You've got a husband who's getting acclimated as well. So this has been a transformative year for you and the entire family. What lessons have you learned and want to share with us about self care and prioritizing your self care? What are you looking forward to as you continue the journey?
An important thing, my home is my family.
Yes.
So I can feel at home whenever I go. And as long as my husband and my son are with me and feeling good, I will be at home. So that's an important part.
Oh, I love it. See, y'all, family, listeners, this is why she is one of my favorite people. I really, really admire Daniela and for who she is as a person, as a human being on the inside. And I love that she's been transparent with us and sharing such good insights. I thank you for that, Danny. But before we wrap up, you know, and the listeners know by now that we are curating and making and creating our good old self care playlist, right? Each week, whoever our guest is adds a song. So what song do you want to add to this playlist? And I hope it's something that's like, you know what, I've been on a journey over this year and I just got to let it all out. So what song do you want to add to the playlist?
Wow. So this will be really cool to share because it's a song that's related to my last name and brings a vibe of overcoming and motivation. So, Thunder by Imagine Dragons. So, the translation of thunder in Portuguese is trovão,
Okay.
part of my last name. And I think that says it all.
Oh, wow. Thunder by Imagine Dragon. I absolutely love it. We will make sure we add that to the playlist, Danny. You are amazing. I love what you do. I love who you are. And I'm so grateful to have you to be a part of my life and in my circle of friends. I appreciate it. This has been probably one of the most enjoyable spotlights that I've done because I've got to be able to interview you, an amazing young woman. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for sharing the song, but most definitely thank you for giving us a peek into your self-care journey amidst all the change. Wow. I mean, it's been a complete adventure to say the least. So thank you again for joining me in the spotlight.
And I'm thinking I'm starting to like this spotlight stuff.
Okay.
So cool beans. So thank you, Val, again by making me challenge myself and being here today. So gratitude.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna have you back. We'll have you back on, I'm sure. So listen, to the listeners, let me tell you again, I'm so glad you got up today with you on your mind. Until next Saturday, stay positive, stay inspired, and take care. I'll catch you right here on Saturday Morning Spotlight.